This insane video clip of actor Mads Mikkelsen talking about diversity is absolutely ridiculous, but this time around it isn't because of anything that Mads Mikkelsen said. It is something that the reporter said, which made this whole thing absolutely crazy, with Mads Mikkelsen having an absolutely fantastic response to this entire question. So we're going to go ahead and get into this and see what is going on here, because this is absolutely hilarious. This clip is extremely entertaining, and it goes to show just how absolutely insane everything has gone because of all of the diversity nonsense, all of the woke insanity that we continue to see permeate our culture across America. Promised Land star and director stumped by insane diversity question. Richard Dreyfuss said it best. The Oscar-winning actor, when asked about the Academy Awards demanding Best Picture candidates meet diversity guidelines, said the dictates make me vomit. And as we all know about the insanity that is going on with all these different award shows that are basically requiring people to have diversity, to literally force diversity into their films if they want to be eligible for like the Academy Awards. This is getting completely out of control, completely insane, and we're only going to continue to see this get worse and worse, and the result of this is going to be a huge, devastating impact on what art is, at least when it's coming from places like Hollywood. People like EpicVerse will be totally fine because it isn't about diversity to us. It is about telling the best story and using the best people in order to do that. So the rules in question force filmmakers to embrace strict woke measures or else miss a chance at the golden statuette and Hollywood immortality. The star and director behind The Promised Land, which just screened at the prestigious Venice Film Festival, must have drawn the short straw. They were both presented with a question about their film's lack of diversity, at least by American standards. And so what we have here is this amazing clip based on this film that they just put out, which is a historical drama film which follows an 18th century army captain struggling to raise his social status and maintain his values in an increasingly hostile environment. This all takes place in Denmark in the 1700s, okay? So just keep that in mind when you are watching this clip here. So listen to what this reporter asks of Mads Mikkelsen when it comes to this film. This is just crazy, man.
Hello, I'm from Denmark, and it's a pleasure to be here. So you're a little bit into it. This is a cast and a Danish production, which is entirely Nordic. It therefore has some lack of diversity, you would say, as also new rules are implied in Hollywood.
What are you on to?
Sorry, but
from the get-go.
From the
And already you can see Mads Mikkelsen is just like, what on earth are you talking about? This response from Mads Mikkelsen needs to be the response of everyone when it comes to these types of questions. We need to laugh. We need to mock it, okay? That is what Mads Mikkelsen is doing here. He's like, what are you talking about, dude? Okay, let's continue.
The get-go, there is some rules of diversity across the Atlantic for competing in the Best Picture, the equivalent to this competition. As I see it, you don't live up to these standards with this broadcast, and there is just curious, it's not because of artistic reasons, it's because of lack of diversity.
Now, I just want to point this out. We're going to get to this in a little bit here when you hear what the reporter actually says. I think what he's actually saying here is, well, we'll get to that in just a second, okay? Let's continue on.
That this can't compete in that competition. Are you worried about that?
Are you? I'm serious and honest, because you're putting us on the spot, so yeah, you answer the question.
No, because I have, in comparison, Parasite, which is great.
What do you think?
I was thinking that Parasite was a great...
Now listen very closely to what he says here about Parasite, which is a South Korean film. Do you think there's a lot of diversity in Parasite? Well, not really if you consider South Korea, coming from that place. Everyone in the film, shockingly enough, is South Korean. They didn't have any random black people in the film. They didn't have any random white people in the film. It was a South Korean film.
Great movie coming from South Korea. Had the same level of diversity, but coming from South Korea, this was actually still eligible for the competition. You, as a Danish movie with an all-Nordic cast, is not. And that's what I think is a little bit conundrum here.
And I think that what the reporter is actually asking here is a valid question, okay? Because he's basically bringing up the point, South Korea, it didn't have any diversity in the film, as in it didn't have like a huge diverse cast of, South Koreans, white people, black people, Indians, all of this type of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, the film in itself was a South Korean film, and it had a South Korean cast. There was no diversity in the film. And so because of that, he's also asking, so do you think that it's also fair for your film, which is based in Denmark in the 1700s, do you think that this film, do you think there's like a double standard going on here in a way? I think that's kind of what the reporter's trying to ask, because he's like, there's a conundrum going on here. I just don't think he understood necessarily how to word it the right way, if that makes sense. But let's continue on because these people their response here is amazing.
I don't understand the question.
Okay.
Well, first of all, the film takes place in Denmark in the 1750s.
Yeah.
Just look at Mads Mikkelsen here. Oh my gosh, his facial reactions here are just crazy, just hilarious.
Which was very rare. Any people of color in Denmark in the 70s, almost nobody.
Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. What do you think about Mads Mikkelsen's response to this, which I think is just absolutely amazing. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.